Broadcasting from the Vancouver Convention Center in British Columbia, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2022, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software.
I'm Doug Atkinson here in Vancouver, British Columbia at the FME User Conference 2022. Pleased to be joined by Suzanne Serwatuk, Director of Marketing at Safe Software.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I've been looking forward to talking to you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Me too.
Well, good. This ought to be good. So let's start with you and how you got involved with Safe Software and Don and Dale and the whole crew.
Probably not a regular, story where I applied for a job and ended up here. I actually have a food and retail background.
Interesting.
And I've owned a couple small local businesses in Vancouver. I've also worked for some bigger corporations. So I've kind of seen branding and marketing from a couple different perspectives. One where it was already laid out for me and I just have to present it, and another one where I got to start it from scratch and, create my own presence and my own branding. And one of them was a local ice cream company, and I happened to have a random networking meetup with other entrepreneurs, and I met Don, one of our co-founders, and he proceeded to check out my ice cream brand. He was, I guess, impressed. I definitely know he enjoyed the ice cream.
That's the key.
And I ended up selling that business just over 2 years ago, and I took the summer off. And then by the fall of 2020, I had joined Safe Software.
Well, I gotta believe that he saw something in your personality as well, because it strikes me, having talked to those guys and then seeing the culture that exists around here, that there was more to it than just your marketing skills.
I didn't come in as the director of marketing. I actually came in an entry-level marketing position, and I think that was to prove that I was a culture fit, and that another entrepreneur wasn't going to come in and take over the company. And I think I passed the test, because now I've been director of marketing since January this year, and I love marketing. I love brands. I love trends. I didn't come in to take over or change anything. I was happy to just come in and deliver a message, and do the best job of telling their story. But what's been exciting is they kind of gave me this path to take and to try to make change and to inspire and rally our team together and create stuff so that we could maybe take the company to a newer level, and that's been really exciting. I was concerned that maybe I didn't know how to market technology and that being in food and retail might not apply, but it turns out that, marketing there or marketing here it's the same idea. Are we figuring out the pain points? Are we telling the right story? Are we hitting the right, audience? Are we giving them the right message and stuff? Because honestly, this company is exciting because, it's not a big venture capital company, It's still the original two, they will laugh, but the original two nerds that started it in the first place.
It's really, and honestly, it's been fun to interview so many folks that have come here, because that story is pretty consistent across not only the founders and customers that we've talked to, but the partners as well. I mean, it's an international collection. They all seem to be doing remarkably well. They're all growing.
They are. It is, one thing about our partners, our users, our community, they're the real, all-stars of this. At Safe Software, we don't do services. We rely on our partners to do those services, and that way we're not competing, with our partners.
Sure.
And we don't joke when we say that they make the impossible possible with our tool, because we can't even fathom half the stuff that they're presenting here or whatever. it's all them, you know, or maybe someone comes here and they're inspired by one of those presentations and they go on to do more cool stuff that wasn't conceived as possible before. So, I mean, I kind of like to say, like, we make the basketball and they're the Michael Jordans, or we make the tennis racket and they're the, you know, the Serena Williams, but, you know, like, it's really, you know, they're inspiration and they're to us. So, you know, they're the reason why, you know, we keep coming back to do more and more with FME so they can do more.
Well, and an event like this,
Yes.
Which is great, by the way, we've
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed our time, and it's nice to be back in a live event environment.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about, you know, what you think is the value of kind of gathering everybody together like that at an event like this.
You know, I think everyone's just so happy to be back in person, you know, and feel a little bit of normalcy. I know I was in some meetings yesterday and we're all like, aren't we just better, like, we're better in person, you know, like we just present better, we're more comfortable, you know, you can pick up on different cues and stuff like that. But man, like, just our plenaries in the past couple days, like, wow, you know, like, just incredible speakers that we've had here. And I just don't think that you feel that vibe on a screen. And I know that it's been common among a lot of people that there's just an energy here, a buzz, and people are excited, and you don't necessarily
Well, and they've come from all over the world.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of long distance travel to get here and hang, which is great. I mean, because they're all clearly motivated to do it and excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's our, like, well, right there, like, we want to create a memorable experience for them. It's not about the product necessarily. It's like, come here, get inspired in a beautiful city with a beautiful view.
You ordered up the weather nicely as well.
You know, we couldn't have asked for a better week and weather. I know, we lucked out.
Well, so tell me a little bit about what you've got on your plate. So you're obviously doing amazingly well with regard to the spatial story. The partners are thriving, but I know you're building a larger story that moves Safe Software to another level.
This was really, you know, so we did not call this the peak of data integration for no reason.
Right.
You know, I mean, the mountains are in the background. It fits so well. There are mountains and mountains and mountains of data out there that people are trying to get to the top of. And, you know, like, literally that feeling of getting to the summit and seeing the view and seeing, like, new possibilities and new horizons, like, that's what we're trying to convey. And it's not just the possibilities for our customers, it's the possibilities for us, right? We've come from almost 30 years of, like, growth, like, just conservative growth, you know, learning, developing from desktop to server to cloud. And now we're trying to go to the next level, and, you know, with an enterprise platform, you know, and, you know, yes, we know our spatial, you know, value very well, but sometimes we don't think people have any idea across the enterprise how they can tap into that and use that. And it's not exclusive to one department and stuff like that. They can use this all across the board.
Well, that's what I heard from both Don and Dale yesterday, was the land and expand story is definitely an approach that they're happy to take, to get through the door and then let the possibilities kind of open things up. And so that's, to me, that's a very exciting story, and I'm curious where you really see things going, you know, over the next couple of years as you take it. I mean, the data isn't getting smaller. I think it's a really interesting time because people are getting more comfortable with their data being in the cloud. I think decision makers, if I were to think about it, are getting younger and therefore maybe a little less culturally resistant to certain data decisions.
Right.
And so it's probably a pretty good opportunity and a pretty good time for you guys to tell that story.
Absolutely. We had an incredible speaker today, the city of Surrey, which is actually where our home office headquarters is located. So it's right down the street that they're doing like an incredible job. There's like over 100, almost 150 different integrations happening across the city of Surrey. That's not just spatial. It can't be just spatial,
right.
You know, but not in the sense like that it's like exclusively spatial. Like the people that are in the taxation or the, you know, submissions or, you know, the water and the sewer and the fire department, they all have incredible loads of data, but they can also benefit from adding that layer of spatial. And then when you put FME in the middle of it, I mean, it's just, you know, everything's flowing and they're just empowered to do more and more and more.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard stories from partners around climate action.
Yep.
Really affecting the future of the planet. I mean, it's something. It's really something special when you do add that spatial element, because it really does start to make things that you didn't think were going to be data measurable, actionable, and ultimately, you know, changeable.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Like there's one group doing, you know, they're doing research on how like they can like redo housing and buildings that aren't set up for climate change and for, you know, conserving energy and for the environment and stuff like that. And I mean, who knew to use a digital twin to recreate that structure and figure that out? Well, I mean, that's really cool. Like, you know, it sounds cool, it looks cool. Is it going to work? But I mean, what's really interesting is like to even do that, the amount of data, the amount of power in your tool to just create, it blows. You know, I was just having a conversation with your team actually today about, I don't think anyone truly understands how much spatial is constantly in their life on a daily basis.
No, that's true.
You know, and we rely on these conveniences of GPS and things like that, and it's just at the click of a button, but the amount of data that goes into doing those things, you need a strong, robust tool. And, you know, I mean, FME is just, it's that, you know, but I think we don't see the potential sometimes of what we can do.
I think that's it. There's just so much more data available. I think as people realize the value of being able to pull it together, you know, they'll just bring more in. And ultimately with computing power being what it is and the cloud advancing the way it is, and I know, was it Dale who was telling, he had like a picture of himself as like the Incredible Hulk. He was all green on his Twitter.
Yes.
Because he was doing the Incredible
Hulk. Yes. Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, you guys are clearly goosing up the horsepower.
We are, the quirk and the fun, no matter how big we get, those things, the quirk and the fun and the, you know, like of it is not going to disappear. That's for
good.
Sure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
you for having us. We've enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah.
And best of luck with the rest of the show, and certainly best of luck with the rest of the year.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.